Jamie, we've covered a lot of ground talking about this whole notion of a bionic organization and these bionic principles. How would you distill it simply as the key takeaways?
Yeah, I think we jumped around, a little bit, and I think it really comes down to sort of five key areas that we discussed. And I think first and probably most importantly, it really starts, with the strategy and where you want to play. And all strategies, regardless of the market you're looking to play in, from an insurance standpoint, it really starts with the outcomes that a customer is trying to achieve, right? And that equals those things that are controlled, the deterministic plus the probabilistic. And our job is, and the way to look at it is, how do we take things that were probabilistic and put it into control, right, to help achieve that outcome? And then how do we reduce the error rate and the return on the remaining probabilistic? Then it becomes down to where, as an insurer, do you want to play in that essentially formula as it applies to the markets that you serve. And then I think the other key area is sort of build from that, and that is but it starts with the deep understanding of the customers, moving from sort of the sample or sort of the aggregate to specific and localized view of those customers. And then it gets around how do you actually improve the decision process of your organization. And so we've gotten really good at sort of Lean Six Sigma applied to sort of operational processes, but when we look at judgment processes and what's there, how are we constantly using what's now at our disposal to improve the speed and efficacy of that decision making throughout the organization. And then that drives sort of a change in the innovation cycle and how we have to actually respond and the pace in which we actually respond, as well as how we actually think of a broader partners outside of our organization versus the control that we have. And then lastly, sort of leads to talent, right? It's not, save the best for last. And that is, it demands a notion of, or there's Renaissance people, or at least Renaissance teams that combine sort of the art and science to really bear fruit from how we look at those strategies.
Absolutely. And when you look at those kind of 5 key concepts that Jamie's laid out, if you were just to give some specific kind of advice, perspectives to leaders, what would you say?
The hard thing at any point of transition is how do you make sure your organization's ready? So I think the critical thing that a leader needs to do is to understand how do you prepare your organization for that future. And the things that we've seen be the most successful, and we've been involved in these together, to think about the full waterfront of organizational development. And the way I think about that is you think about what do you expose your executives to? Silicon Valley visits, understanding the science, where are things going so they can actually see what the potential is. What kind of corporate venture capital are you doing in terms of having relationships with these companies? And we've seen corporate venture capital, especially in the B2B space, but overall continue to go up in importance and sophistication. How do you think about what venture investing you're going to do? How do you think about which innovative parts of your organization you're going to support so you can transform that kind of capability within? And then how do you think about really picking your place in this new strategy of taking the probabilistic, making it deterministic, making the probabilistic error less in terms of customer value? So to me, it's really about managing across the waterfront, because only the top of the house can be engaged in those conversations about who you're going to visit, educate, partner with, invest in, and support within the organization. That has to start at the very top and cascade down. And that's the kind of transformation to really make it stick and give the opportunity to get at the 5 issues Jamie was talking about.
Excellent. Well said.